Hi everyone, it is April. Today I want to recommend you some amazing, brilliant books by Asian authors. Let's get into it. We are creeping closer to 15,000 subscribers on this channel. And I am doing a $150 Amazon gift card giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video, and like this video. Stick around until the end of this video and I'm going to get into more detail about the giveaway itself and how you can win. So as you guys know, hate crimes against Asians are very much on the rise. We just saw the murder of several Asian American women being killed because some complete jerk targeted these women. It was a hate crime. And, you know, it's not only happening in the States. These hate crimes are happening around the world. They're happening in England, in Canada, in like major city centers. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen a rise in hate crimes against Asian Canadians. I think it was 600 to 700% higher than the year before. It's absolutely insane. And I was thinking today in the shower, I was thinking that one of the beautiful things about reading, and specifically reading from other people's perspective, if you're a white person, reading from other people's perspectives gives you a chance to, in any way, shape, or form, just have a little glimpse of what it's like to live their lives. And, you know, with reading, you're reading a book for a while. You don't read a book for 2 hours, although maybe you're a speed reader and you do, but you read a book for a good chunk of time. And so you are sitting with these characters, these people for a good chunk of time. And in that good chunk of time, hopefully it makes you a more empathetic person. So I want to recommend 5 Asian books, or books by Asian authors that I love. Like, these are my favorites. They're my favorites. I hemmed and hawed, and here we are. And I have one book that I'm going to be reading next. This will be my next Asian author that I read. So let's just dive right in. First up, we've got Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. Angie Kim is a lawyer, and she's also a courtroom lawyer, trial lawyer, which is so cool. And she is an author, and she wrote one of my favorite books of last year that I read. Miracle Creek follows a little town, I think in Virginia, and we follow a Korean family who has opened up this medical treatment device called the Miracle Submarine. And it's experimental. It's essentially a heavy dose of oxygen that's meant to help things like infertility. I think it's meant to help autism, that kind of thing. And so you've got all of these people coming on a weekly basis for their treatment. Some of them are young children suffering from autism, going in for their treatment. One of them is a man struggling with infertility. And they go and they form relationships with one another, because what else are you going to do when you spend, you know, an hour or two, you know, every couple of days with one another? Now, one day there is a major fire in the Miracle Submarine. Several people die, several people are injured. And one of the single mothers is accused of having set the fire on purpose to kill her son, who I believe had autism. And it is about their relationships. Now, what I love about this book is every chapter you get a different perspective about what happened that day, about what happened leading up to it. You get to see people in their most vulnerable state and also judging other people's vulnerability. And this is very much a book about don't judge other people. So you follow as well the Yus who own this Miracle Submarine and their daughter, their teenage daughter. And all of the characters are fantastic, They're so fleshed out. Oh my goodness. I adored this book and I implore you to read it. I've talked about that one so often. Next is an Amy Tan, and I think this is my favorite Amy Tan that I've read. This is The Joy Luck Club. This follows 4 Chinese women who have immigrated from China in 1949. They moved to San Francisco. And when they moved to San Francisco, they started something called the Joy Luck Club. So I think it was every week they'd get together, eat dim sum, they would play games together and just chat, and it follows their stories as well as their daughter's stories. So you get, of course, the tensions between mother-daughters, that there's often tensions, and you get the daughters' perspectives about what they think about their mothers, and then you read the mothers' perspectives and the mothers' histories, and oh my goodness, some of the things that these women went through were so difficult. I ended up caring about every single character in this book. Amy Chan does mother-daughter relationships in a way that I have not seen done since. She's just a master at that. So I'd highly recommend The Joy Luck Club. I'd also recommend Shelter by Young Un. I really enjoyed this book. I read it several years ago now. This follows Kyung Cho. He is a father and husband, and they are kind of down on their luck. They're really struggling financially, and they need to sell their house and move into smaller accommodations. And as they have the realtor like going through the house to check it out, they glance out the window and there is a naked woman who appears to be like bloodied, banged up outside, and they panic and they rush out to help this woman, and they discover that it is his mother. And this dives into the violent event that happened to his mother, the very tense relationship he has specifically with his father, but also his mother a little bit. And because of this violent episode, his mother and his father need to move in with them. And it's tense, very, very tense. And it explores his own childhood and how he himself, I guess, didn't have a lot of affection from his parents as a child. And he's trying to be a really good father, good husband, and he's navigating some of the trauma that he experienced as a child. And I just thought it was really well done. I think this was like marketed as a thriller, and I'd say it's more of a family drama slash a bit of a thriller, just a little tension, but not overly thriller-esque, if that makes any sense. Next, I mean, this needs no introduction. It's Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I really enjoyed this book. This follows a sleepy little town where everything is perfect in Shaker Heights. You know, everyone has, 2.5 cars, 2.5 kids. They're like doing well for themselves, but there's also kind of rules of how you should live your life when you live in Shaker Heights. And so we follow a single mother and her daughter who move into the area, and they don't fit the mold. Our main character, Mia, is an artist. She just doesn't buy into all of this prim and proper behavior that you have to do in Shaker Heights. The other main character that we follow is Elena Richardson, and Elena is like really into strict rules and all of that. And Elena's old dear friends end up adopting a Chinese baby, and it becomes a very tense situation because Mia takes major issue with this adoption, and there is very good reason for that. And it is about the tension and the build up, and I just thought this was really well done. It very much is the slow build to this crescendo, and there's so much at stake, and I absolutely loved Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. And that was adapted to, I think, a mini-series by Reese Witherspoon. I really enjoyed that. And the last book I want to recommend to you is a nonfiction book. I have recommended this so many times, and honestly, I'd love to reread this or read more from this author. This is Wild Swans by Young Chang. This follows 3 generations of Chinese women under the Mao regime. So it's so interesting. So this follows her grandmother's, Young Chang's grandmother's life in China when she was a warlord's concubine. It also follows her own mother's struggles as a young idealist communist and her parents' experience as members of the communist elite and their ordeal during the Cultural Revolution. And then Chang herself was a Red Guard briefly at the age of 14 and also worked as a peasant. Before a peasant, a steel worker, and an electrician before she emigrated. I thought it was brilliant. I learned so much in this book. This is like narrative nonfiction as well. It reads so easily. I cannot recommend this enough. I really need to pick up more by her. I don't know why I haven't, because she's written a couple since. And then, okay, so now we're getting on to what I am going to read next by an Asian author. And it probably, well, it might surprise some of you because it's fantasy, guys. What? I never read fantasy, but I've heard this book gushed about so often that I want to. I'm actually thinking of doing a vlog where I vlog my way through this one. So this is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. And this is a book about Rin. And Rin lives in a world where there's a lot of violence and there's a war looming. And Rin gets accepted into this academy and everyone is shocked by it. This academy is like trained to be a warrior, basically. And she's accepted and she goes, and it should be this like wonderful moment for her because it's very hard to get into this academy. However, there's a lot of racism that she deals with because she is a dark-skinned peasant girl from the South. Life at Sinigard is not easy, and her fellow classmates are incredibly prejudiced against her, and she's trying to survive in this setting. And as I said before, war is looming. The Poppy War is just around the corner. So I think this book, half of it you're with her at the school and then half of it you're at war with her. And it just sounds fun. And I think if I want to dive into fantasy, this is where I want to start, most likely like adult fantasy. I don't know if I've ever read an adult fantasy other than The Lord of the Rings, which was a while ago. So I'd love to read The Poppy War, and I'm going to. It's happening. Anyway, let me know in the comments below, what Asian authors are your favorite? I would love to know. I want to send out all sorts of love to any Asian subscriber on my channel. You are loved, you are seen, and I am wishing you well. I'm so sorry that you've been dealing with this prejudice and this completely unfair behavior and the hate. It's very upsetting, and I just wanted to send you my love. So I hope that you guys are doing well, and I will chat with you very soon. Okay, bye everybody. All right, with 15,000 subscribers just around the corner, this is your chance to win a $150 Amazon gift card. It's in Canadian because I am Canadian. And I hope that one of you will be able to buy all sorts of lovely books from your wish list with it. Now, in order to win, you need to first be subscribed to this channel, like this video, and also leave a comment in the comments below. After we hit 15,000 subscribers, I am going to pick a random video, randomize the comments, and pick a winner. So the more videos you watch, the more comments you leave, the more chances that you are going to have to win. Good luck to all of my bookish friends out there.